Fashion means a lot to me. I think fashion probably takes up a lot of my life, studying fashion, and I feel like I think about fashion like many minutes of my day, all day.
Fashion is life, more or less, I could say. It helps me through everything, helps me through the good and bad times.
I never had something that I was really good at, but then I always remember when I started getting a bit older, I was just good at picking out outfits. I knew what I liked, and then I kind of was like, oh, I love this, the way it makes you feel and the way you can make someone else feel.
I think it's a way of describing your personality, kind of. Each person will dress differently and will show how they are. If you're colourful, you're kind of fun or whatever.
Just kind of a way of expressing yourself. It was kind of always a way, kind of
being
different.
Art,
yeah, you could be different. You could kind of express what you felt like.
On an everyday basis, I want to look somewhat my personality is represented in my clothes or the way I look.
Fashion is literally everywhere. We all, everyone has something to do with fashion.
I think fashion is basically literally everyday life. About clothes, how you see life.
Fashion to me is it's more kind of, for my aesthetic, for me it's I always love more outrageous looks, so it's more the artsy side for me. I think that's wearable art.
It's something that's always been there for me, when everyone else had something else like sport, it was fashion for me. So I feel like having a path that I want to follow and being able to follow it is so important, so I'm so thankful to have fashion.
Fashion industry practice in Sallynoggin.
Fashion industry in Sallynoggin College.
We are studying fashion industry practice in Sallynoggin College.
I'm studying fashion design, so at the moment we are getting our collections ready for our end of year show.
Fashion design, so it's you're designing the clothes, you're pattern drafting them, you're twirling them, and then you're making them.
It's a really broad look at the fashion industry.
We'll do fashion buying, we'll do styling, we'll do merchandising, we'll do some journalism.
We do everything from start to finish of making a garment. So we start off, we do pattern drafting, we make all the patterns, draw them all onto paper, it's quite technical. Then the practice fabric is sewn up into a garment, and then we cut them out on the real fabric, and then that's all sewn up. And then we do all the hand finishes.
Well, on our course it's not really design, it's more the business side of it. It's more behind the scenes, I guess.
I study kind of everything in fashion apart from design.
It covers a lot of aspects in the fashion industry, from styling to buying to merchandising.
Most of my interest be in visual merchandising and a little bit of styling and more the display aspects of it, kind of.
My favourite parts of it are the visual merchandising, the styling, and photo shoot direction.
I also kind of like the design process of clothing, so how you get a theme, put it onto a mind map, see all the different options, then choose one section from that, really focus in on it and just work with it.
We also do about our own business, how to sell yourself, your business cards, your logo, all that kind of thing.
You kind of have to find your style as well with it.
Yeah.
So I feel it's I think it's a learning process every single day.
I didn't even know what a visual merchandiser did before I came in here, but now that I've done it, I have a lot of respect for people that work behind the scenes in the fashion industry, and I now want to call myself a part of that fashion industry.
When you're in school and everyone's business, science, doctor, all that sort of thing, and you say fashion, they're oh, here we go. What are you going to do, play dress up for all your life? And it's not like that, because you go to college and you do so much studying and it's so much work.
I think we always kind of stood out.
Yeah, it was always, we were always labelled, we would have always been labelled.
They always thought it was weird till they got to it.
Slagging it.
I think they all thought that I was absolutely crazy, that what would you be doing fashion? They didn't get it at all. Completely different mindset of what fashion is all about. I just think that they all thought I would have been much safer to stay in science and get a nice degree and go and work in a lab for the rest of my life, but that's not what I wanted to do.
Just get a load of blank stares. Do you not really have a clue what you're talking about? Do you think it's more just colouring and putting outfits together, and so much more? There's business side to it, there's the technical side.
You just get a lot of people not knowing what you're doing. They ask you if you make stuff, and then when you tell them you don't, they're well, what do you do? So
So, and it's just really hard to explain that it's not making stuff, it's more like the other stuff that goes with it, like the buy-in and the trends.
I always usually get a good reaction. There's never been a bad one. But they just don't know much about it, so I always have to like explain, you know, about the whole course, because they usually think that I just do designing.
I've never really had a bad reaction. I've always had like really good reactions. I always find it more interesting. I feel like I kind of get more people asking more questions about it because it's not really that studied here.
When they realise that it's something that you want to do, like people are constantly doing things in life that they just don't want to do, that they have no interest in, they just force themselves to do it. So I think when people realise that you're passionate about it and it's something that you're interested in, they do try to help.
We get a lot of like reactions, like kind of asking us if we're gay all the time. Every time you say it, they just, the first thing they think is, are you gay? And we're not, like, so that's what we think is just a big like stereotype.
People always have, well, there's always that, like the fashion industry always has that one image, but like lately, people always have the opinion like the fashion industry always like that one style of people, but there is, for me, it's like there's always, as the fashion industry is always evolving, but some people just don't see that.
They kind of just see the front, isn't it, of like fashion industry, or like they think
the runway and all.
Yeah, they just think it's very kind of like a catty industry. They don't actually see any of the work that goes in, like behind all that. Like they don't really understand it.
They don't think there's jobs in it. It's not like a stable career. And then obviously I've met lots of people who have got really good careers out of this.
It's like people kind of think it's impossible to like succeed in it. Sometimes it is positive and people are like, oh that's great, oh you dress nice or things like that, but then sometimes some people are just like, it's really hard to get into, and I understand that, but like anything's possible.
Like through social media, mainly, I think, you know, like Instagram.
I do read a lot of magazines, but I kind of read a lot of blogs as well.
Definitely seeing other people wear things. I always like to just like take my inspiration from people I see on the street or people in college or whatever.
I'm always on Instagram, so, and then I'm always shopping as well. I take the bus to town, and I think town's a great place to actually just keep your eye open for what people wear.
I've loved magazines. You know, getting to read what someone else thinks about a collection, or like if they share the same ideas as you, or someone else always notices something different than you, which I love, and you always get that when you're reading magazines.
I follow a lot of bloggers and kind of like vloggers and all sorts of stuff like that, and then kind of take bits of inspiration from that, and then bits from the runway shows as well, and just kind of go with what I like myself. The history of fashion, more so than trends or anything. It'd be more looking back at vintage pieces or 90s style or 70s style.
You know, when you're looking at all of the things that you want but you can't buy, so I think I just really stick to basics, like things that I can wear with a lot of different things and that I can wear again, and I don't focus too much in on trends.
Just wear what you like. Yeah, I just feel like I wouldn't try really follow.
Trying to keep up with trends too, like it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, if you're just trying to follow every trend, like I just have to see something and like it. Yeah,
I look at the trends and then kind of just adapt them and make them more me, and then if I don't like the trends, I just make up my own trends.
Laid back, feminine and comfortable.
Punk, monochrome, non-binary.
Edgy, fun, and just different, I guess.
Like I don't have a certain like set way of dressing or like a certain style or like, so I don't know, I feel like comfortable. I like classy. I don't know if I do wear classy stuff, I like the word. And hopefully stylish.
You always see people, they want to be in with the trends and wear what everyone else is wearing, but it doesn't suit their body type, so I think just kind of find out what's for you, the colours that are for you, and stick with it.
Let's just wear whatever you want. You know, I mean, stick with the trends, that's great, but just wear whatever you want.
I always have like a statement piece. I always have an oversized coat and have so many black.
I'd say fashion comes from within, so look after your mental health, physical health, and that will shine through in whatever you wear.
Keep warm and don't conform to the catwalk.